everyone. In this interview we are going to have a look at massaging and effective self-supportive massaging in assisting and supporting oneself and one's human physical body and that of another, while and as one is walking one's process. And massaging is quite an effective, practical, physical tool to assist and support oneself in establishing a relationship with one's human physical body and also that of another, and within that also to assist and support oneself with being with the physical, expressing as the physical. And while and as one is massaging, one can assist and support oneself in one's breathing application and not accepting, allowing self to go into the mind. So massaging from that perspective is quite beneficial within one's practical walking process, where that point of breathing, being here with the physical and not participating in the mind and walking that more often will assist and support with establishing that starting point within oneself to stop participation in the mind, even within and during the walking of one's practical physical reality, in getting self to that point of stopping participation, breathing, being here with the physical and moving with the physical. So let's first have a look at massaging within agreements, and even those that are walking the Desteni process and whose partner is not necessarily walking process yet. I'm sure that you're still having sex or that you still enjoy physical expression. I mean, even with one's partner not necessarily yet walking process with one, this point of massaging physical expression and sex must still be a point that is for self in assisting and supporting self with one's own self process and walking out of the mind into with and as the physical. So this may also be a point that emerge within people that have a partner that's not yet walking with you. I mean, that's okay, because the point of where your partner is not walking with is simply in the mind, whereas the human physical body is still very much here, and thus can, within massaging and physical expression and or sex, still assist and support self with developing that relationship with one's own human physical body, and at the same time within that establishing that starting point, stable application of stopping the mind, practicing being here with the physical, with the human physical body, and assist and support oneself in one's physical expression with one's partner. And so let us have a look at massaging within agreements and or relationships. What we suggest here is even one can decide whether one simply wants to have an evening of massaging or an evening of having massaging and then moving oneself with one's partner physically into sex. I mean, that is quite a cool way of initiating and moving physically into and as sex in starting with massaging, because if both partners participate in the point of stopping participation in the mind and focusing on and with the human physical body and breathing and moving with your human physical body, and then within that, as that is established, moving into sexual expression my assistance support while within and during having sex, that physical interaction starting point is already there within yourselves and each other, and so facilitates the physical expression during sex rather than the overwhelming mind participation during sex. So in how to approach massaging within agreements or with your partner, is what's suggested is to be completely naked, to not have any bras, panties, underpants, nothing. You must be completely naked and allow yourself to be massaged and touched throughout your human physical body. So within that, in allowing both to be naked, is also assisting and supporting with your process of your human physical body comfortability, and within that your self-comfortability, because there is that existent relationship with ourselves and the physical in the extent to which we have embodied our human physical body within our mind consciousness system as an image or a picture, and within that separation many ideas, perceptions, beliefs and imaginations exist toward our human physical body, and that has caused quite a separation in terms of thus our self-comfortability, because our human physical body is us and it's what we exist through and as. So if that comfortability doesn't exist, that self-comfortability is thus influenced or affected. And so with massaging, with laying there completely naked and allowing yourself to be massaged, is within that context also a particular point that one can assist and support oneself with, and this is both males and females, in where you have to be able to lay down comfortably and simply be comfortable with yourself in your human physical body. So what one might tend to experience or pick up is pains, or like an experience where you just want to cover yourself, or an experience where it's like your whole body stiffens and you're not relaxed and you're moving your toes or your hands, or you're becoming fidgety. All of that is indications of not being comfortable with yourself, with your human physical body. Now, in terms of one's practical process, one can assist and support oneself with whatever thoughts or backchat or reactions come up with simply laying there naked comfortably with yourself. One can walk within and during one's own time in having a look at what has been the causes, origins, or sources of self not being comfortable with self and with one's own human physical body. Obviously, that's going to be quite a process that one can walk with oneself through the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind with the practical tools of self-forgiveness, writing, and self-corrective application. So understand that this massaging approach is going to be a process and how one is basically going to identify this separation that self is manifested with self and one's human physical body, because this process that we're walking is essentially about bringing your mind back to self, meaning everything you've separated yourself into and as is the mind, to face it, become it, direct it, and live here with and as the human physical body. So massaging is quite a cool point in terms of identifying and exposing the nature of the relationship that you've created with your human physical body. So while you're laying there naked and maybe even if you want to just take a moment for yourself and just lay there naked comfortably while you, for example, wait for your partner to get the oils ready, or the candles, or preparing the whole evening, and have a look at what is the physical reactions that come up. Where's your body physically reacting? Where's the pains? Where's the discomfort? How are you fidgety? And then within that, have a look at what is the reaction that is coming up in your solar plexus. What is the energy that you're accessing in your total human physical body? And you may notice that there's fear or anxiety or embarrassment, and then from there you can, for example, just note to yourself in that moment to take that reaction and write it out for yourself in your own time once the massaging is done, or the evening is done, or even the next day. But that reaction that one will experience will be a layer of your mind consciousness system indicating a separate relationship that you've established with yourself, to and with your human physical body. And then what one do is simply breathe and assist and support oneself to, in the breathing, relax with one's human physical body. If you experience pains, simply breathe through them, and it's like you're directing yourself in that moment to push yourself to be here with the human physical body. And understand that pushing is not a forcing or a demand. It is a movement of yourself, and it's something to really in that moment let go and breathe and feel or experience your human physical body. It is suggested, obviously, to when laying naked there or having the massaging in the room, is to have the room quite a nice warmth, and being able to really experience your natural physical state. So then the key is to breathe and practice that point where you're breathing and you're here with your human physical body, and you feel and you move and allow yourself to experience it. I mean, it's quite interesting how little we are aware of the movements, the pains, the experiences, the expressions of our own human physical bodies, because of the extent and amount of time that we're preoccupied in the mind and move within and throughout our day according to that starting point. So take this moment then to simply be here with your body, feel your body, where's the pains, what's the reactions, and simply make a mental note for self in that moment to expand or write those points out for oneself. And then it's not to continue focusing on that, because obviously right now in that very moment there's nothing you can do about them, but to know that you have that trust and discipline to take it on and walk it through when and as you have the time. So for that moment, take that moment to move yourself in being here with your body through breathing. If there's pain, simply continue breathing. Sometimes the pains will intensify, because they're usually pains that you would feed with your conscious mind participation, and now it's like these systems in your body going, give me energy, I'm dying. So within that, it's simply to breathe through it, and if it intensifies, continue breathing, and obviously ask your partner to assist and support with those pain points that seem to simply become more intense. So that moment of checking your physical, checking yourself, and practicing that breathing and not participating in your mind, you do the moment simply before the massaging, and or while your partner is massaging you. But essentially, while your partner is massaging you, what it is that you would want to focus on is what it is that you're experiencing as the touch, as the movement, as the motion of your partner's physical onto and within yours. I mean, that point of focus of getting to know what it is that you as the physical enjoy, prefer or don't prefer, or where are the knots or the pains or the discomfort within your physical that requires some assistance and support with physical actual massaging movement. So that's why we suggest to only before the massage simply have a quick scan, so to speak, through yourself as the mind and your physical, and focusing on the breathing, so that when the actual massaging happens, that you can focus on that establishing of a relationship, of getting to know your human physical body. So when and as you're being massaged, it's to breathe and focus yourself on only that moment of touch, where, let's say, your partner starts with your lower legs, and it's to place your total focus and attention on only that touch. How are you experiencing the touch? Would you like it harder, softer, more flowy, more motions, trying different way with the fingers? I mean, it's like really establishing for yourself. And it's, again, many tend to, like, for example, when being massaged, like, judge the person or the way that they're massaging. But again, they're not communicating with our partner and communicating what it is that we prefer or don't prefer. And it is simply a matter of preference, in terms of you may be the next day or the day after prefer the type of massaging that your partner did the previous evenings, and it's all simply dependent on the state or condition of your physical in relation to the mind. So allow yourself to be unconditional in when you're being massaged, and not accept and allow the back chat towards your partner in any way of the method or expression they're utilizing to massage you, but to feel what it is that your physical body is saying. And the only way to do that is to be here breathing, not participating in the mind, but moving with your partner, touching and massaging you, and explore your own physical, what it is that you are in that moment enjoying or would like to experience, or would like to see what it is that your physical and you prefer or don't prefer. So communicate during the massaging as your partner is massaging you, to try different ways. And then again, the partner must be unconditional within that, in moving beyond their constraints or limitations or set way of doing things, and expand in expressing oneself through various types of techniques or ways of massaging. And I mean, again, we've got an entire network of information on various different massaging techniques that one can go and explore or educate oneself within, and see what techniques or ways or methods works for you. It's all about getting to know your physical with yourself as yourself, and finding out what it is in the moment that is here, that is assisting and supporting. So the massaging from this perspective, what we suggest is walking this for self with one's partner, in massaging within only exploring first what it is that assists and supports your physical. And one will obviously be able to relate that assistance and support through how your physical is responding. When the massaging is effective in your human physical body responding to it, your body will actually relax, and you'll be comfortable, and it'll be like you moving on and through you as your partner is massaging you. So it is a actual moment of physical equality and oneness. And the massaging, we suggest for this first part, to not deliberately try and massage out pains or knots or discomfort, but to first establish this point where you establish that relationship with your physical through and with your partner massaging your human physical body, and you finding out what it is that you in that moment prefer or don't prefer. When is your body relaxing? When is it going tense? When are you still accepting and allowing yourself to participate in the mind? Focus yourself on your breathing. Allow your partner to unconditionally express. I mean, if it really gets really uncomfortable, then, I mean, obviously communicate it, but you've also got to take into consideration the nature of competition, even within agreements, where one will sabotage a moment of massaging just because of competition and judge or compare or backchat your partner's massaging based on thoughts or backchat within oneself, memories or experiences. All of that must unconditionally be let go of and really move here with your partner, with your own human physical body. And what helps with stopping mind participation is where you focus yourself on the movement of your partner's physical on throughout and with yours. So make sure that your focus and attention is on the actual physical, the movement, experiencing what your body is saying within yourself as you're being massaged. And then for the partner massaging, the point here is to assist and support oneself to breathe and focus on one's actual physical movements on another human physical body, and to realize that it is most effective to communicate throughout the massaging process in terms of what it is that you prefer or don't prefer, in terms of who it is that you're massaging, because at the moment that physical equality in oneness between the two partners is not yet here. So the one massaging cannot necessarily say what it is that the one being massaged likes or doesn't like. So therefore communication is common sense. And what is cool here in terms of the simple point of assisting and supporting oneself to stop mind participation is to focus completely on the detail of the massaging of one's partner's human physical body. And what one can make note of is any reactions or backchat that come up in relation to any physical parts of massaging your partner's human physical body. What one will find within such judgments or comparisons or backchat is in fact reflecting one's relationship with one's own human physical body that one has not yet dealt, faced with, or directed, but is in fact in that moment superimposing that uncomfortability or reactions or rejection onto towards one's partner, when it's all in fact existent within one's own relationship with one's own human physical body. And we suggest to face, sort out, and direct those points again within one's own time after the massaging, in establishing that relationship with self, with one's own human physical body, and self-comfortability, to not impose or project one's own separation with one's own human physical body onto or towards one's partner. So massaging from this perspective is, within agreements, pretty awesome in walking through and out of the mind relationship with the physical into a self-expression with the physical. And so the one massaging can then, all that's required is simply focusing on the physical hand movements. I mean, you can also use your whole body to massage. That's also quite nice in making sure that both are quite oiled up, and simply moving with one's total human physical body over one's partner, using various hand techniques, using various densities of expression, meaning where you go soft and hard, or where you move slow or fast, or where you move deep or only on the surface of the skin. I mean, one has both got to develop, in essence, a physical communication with one's own human physical body and with each other's human physical bodies, which will also assist and support with the whole physical sexual expression, because sex is physical. It's just that we haven't been in the physical to really experience physical, real expression. So in walking that process together with each other during massaging, and also individually within one's own self-process, will assist and support with one's daily practical living, and as well as one's physical sexual expression. So two partners can utilize massaging from this perspective as we have now described. And for those that are not in agreement at the moment, understand that in terms of what we have now walked is only effective within agreements, where one is walking a long-term relationship agreement with another human being, because that agreement manifestation establishes that stability and platform for two individuals to walk their internal process and process together, where one has always one's cross-reference in how one is physically, practically walking. So simply doing this massaging with random human beings will be of no benefit to self or to another human being. Because this context of massaging can, in assisting and supporting one's self-process, can only be walked within agreement with another human being. So for those not in agreement at the moment, in terms of consulting a masseuse, this we would suggest only when your human physical body is in real extensive discomfort, and you require some physical movement in some of the parts of your human physical body that's like really stiff and knotted up, and under pressure from your mind. And what one can assist and support oneself with is, as you're being massaged, again, apply the breathing, being here with your human physical body, and use it as a cross-reference for yourself and seeing where within your human physical body are there pains. What's the reactions that's coming up in your solar plexus? What's the back chat, the internal conversations, the thoughts? I mean, all of it that will come up within and during the massage will give you a reference of the totality of the points within your mind that has been accumulating within yourself, that has been affecting or influencing the experience of yourself in your human physical body, and manifesting systems and constructs, and so hindering your ability to be here with your own human physical body. So obviously during that time, you'll probably notice quite a bit comes up in your mind. So how to be more specific within that is suggested to, during the massage, not focus on observing your mind or even looking at your mind, but to breathe, and as the person is massaging you, to note where the pains are in your human physical body. To, after the massage, firstly have a look at where all the pains was, and then what you can do with yourself is, in your own time, revisit that moment, have a look at where the pains was, and see within yourself and reference what was the reactions that came up within the pains that you identified in your human physical body. And you'll notice that there will reactions will emerge, because it's a very physical mind process being massaged. And be as specific as you can be to see and identify what are the mind patterns that's been creating all these pains in your human physical body. If you require further assistance and support on this particular point in being massaged by a masseuse, we suggest visiting the Desteni Forums, and one will within the forums see a thread that is Ask a Destonian, and one can place one's questions within that thread in when one has experienced pains in one's body but could not identify the reaction or the mind patterns, and we will assist and support with walking that process for yourself. And also within walking this process alone, again, what's effective is before one goes to sleep or rest is to assist and support oneself with this point of breathing, in being here with one's body and moving with one's body in breathing just before resting, and practicing that point of stopping participation in the mind. Or one can even, if the mind is really busy, just before going to bed, what's great is walking statements of self-forgiveness and sleeping and walking into sleeping with self-forgiveness. One rests quite well when one walk oneself into resting with the body in that way. And one can utilize this point of having a look at where is the pains in your human physical body. What is the reaction that comes up when one look at the particular pain? If one can get that reaction point in relation to the pain, one will immediately open up the mind patterns and having a look at, from the reaction, what was the thoughts that came up within one's mind, and within the nature of the thoughts, one can identify the construct or habit or personality that one is living out that is creating these physical constrictions in one's human physical body. Okay, so here are some massaging assistance and support with partners or walking alone, and how it is a practical tool in terms of establishing that physical relationship with one's human physical body and stopping the mind and really getting into what it means to be here and get to know your own human physical body as you. Thank you very much.